Good morning, Year 1, and welcome to the first of our English lessons for the week. This week we're going to be learning how to make a really good instructional report. And by the end of this week, you're going to be able to write your own instructional report or a recipe in order to help somebody make a pizza. Now, you've made a pizza in the first term, so you're going to be brilliant at that. And also, we're going to be looking at, as our example during the week, a fruit salad, which you may have been able to do last week as part of our DT learning. So, to start with, we're going to have a quick grammar lesson, and then we'll get going on the main learning. So go and get your whiteboards and whiteboard pens ready. And when you're ready, grown-ups, start the video again. Okay, so this week we're going to be looking at writing and reading compound sentences. Now, last week you did simple sentences, and we touched on a compound sentence on Friday. So can you pause the video now and tell your grown-up what kind of things are required for a sentence, a compound sentence? What are the features of a compound sentence? Okay, and grown-ups, start the video when you're ready. So what we've got is, for a sentence to be a sentence, you need capital letters to start. I bet you got them. A full stop at the end. I bet you got them as well. Finger spaces to show where one word ends and another one begins. You need to write on lines. You need to make sure that your sentence makes sense. That's why it's called a sentence. And then, in order for it to be a compound sentence, you need to use a number of different conjunctions. So, for example, you might use and, but, or, so, or because. Any of those would turn an ordinary sentence into a compound sentence. So, finally, your challenge for today is this. Write a compound sentence describing this picture. Okay, so grown-ups, when you're ready, start the video again. Okay, so now we've got an example of a recipe. Now, this is quite complex, deliberately so, because you're not going to be writing at this level, but it gives you an idea what a proper recipe looks like online. Now, it's been written for families, and it's been laid out in this way so we can look at the different features. We're going to be looking at doing one section a day over the next 3 days, and then on Thursday you'll have a go at writing a complete section. Okay, so the first section is entitled Equipment, and that's got a subheading underlined there. So the equipment you use to make this recipe is a measuring cup, a tablespoon with the TBSP in brackets because it's used in the main part of the ingredients, measuring jug, a knife, a garlic crusher, a vegetable grater, and a frying pan or wok. Now that's if you've got all that equipment. If you didn't have all that equipment, you'd be able to work around it by using teaspoons, 4 teaspoons making a tablespoon, and you might be able to use the knife instead of a garlic crusher. Okay, so that's the equipment. Now we're going to look at the ingredients. Now the ingredients here are quite a bit more sophisticated than you need to be, because when we're doing our fruit salad or when we're doing our pizza, we don't need to be precise about the volume or number of things. So these today give you an idea of if you're trying to make a very detailed recipe. So we've got 250 grams of brown balsamic rice. We've got a tablespoon of rapeseed oil. We've got 1 garlic clove crushed. We've got 2 chicken breasts sliced. We've got 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. We've got 100 grams of frozen edamame beans or peas defrosted. We've got 100 grams of frozen sweet corn. 100 grams of grated carrots, 100 grams of red peppers cut into small cubes, an avocado stoned and sliced, 1 lemon cut into quarters to serve, and that's optional, so it says so at the end. And each one of these, just like with the equipment, has a bullet point in front of them. Okay, so then the final section we've got is the instructions. This tells you what you're going to do in order to make a chicken and veg bowl. So 1, and this is where we're using numbers instead of bullet points because this has got to be in a particular order. 1, cook the rice following Pack instructions, then drain and return to the pan to keep warm. And we've got a bossy verb to start with, cook. 2, heat the oil in a frying pan or wok. Add the garlic and fry for 2 minutes or until golden brown. And again, we've got bossy verbs through this. 1 there, heat, 1 there, add, and 1 there, fry. 3, we've got tip in the chicken and fry until the pieces are cooked through. Then stir in the hoisin sauce, season, and continue cooking for a further 2 minutes. So again, a lot of bossy verbs throughout that. Each time there's a connective or conjunction, there is a bossy verb after it. 4, cook the edamame, beans and sweet corn in simmering water for 2 minutes, then drain. 5, divide the rice between 4 bowls and top with the chicken slices in a strip down the middle with carrot, red pepper, beans or peas, sweet corn and avocado down either side. So that is telling you how you're going to present your meal. And then finally, 6, serve with a lemon to squeeze over if you like, and that's the optional bit. So you can see there are a number of different steps involved in writing a successful recipe, and that's what we're going to be concentrating, breaking down those steps, doing one at a time over the next 3 days. Okay, so now we've got an example. We're taking the section we're interested in today and we're looking at the features of that. So we've got equipment, and what's that, year 1? That's right, it's underlined, so it's a subheading or a heading. Then we've got this. Can you remember what that's called? Brilliant. Bullet points. And then we've got the actual equipment itself. So we've got the measuring cup, tablespoon, measuring jug, knife, garlic crusher, vegetable grater, frying pan or wok. And all I want you to do today is write your own one using the equipment you might use to make a fruit salad. So I've given you some examples of what the things might be. You've got a measuring jug there, a bowl there. If you want to be precise, I've chosen a glass bowl. You've got a wooden chopping board, and you've got a knife. And you could go into that detail if you wish to. But I'm just going to model how you would start it, and you do the first one, and then it's over to you. All you need to do today is write the heading, use capitals and full stops, use bullet points, use finger spaces, and write on a line if you're using that side of your whiteboard or a piece of paper with lines. So here we go. The subheading is equipment. So I'd write equipment, and I would rule under it. It's quite important, if you can, to use a ruler. Then it's up to you, but you could leave a line and then you'd use a bullet point, and at that point you would put your first piece of equipment, which is a measuring jug, which we can actually see is already written over there. So measuring jug, and then we're going to finish that with a full stop. Okay, so all I want you to have a go at doing now is just writing down, bullet pointing all the, well, copying that down and bullet pointing all the other pieces of equipment you might use. And if you wanted to, what would be even better is you could draw an example of a measuring jug by the measuring jug and everything else next to it. And that's the task for today. So hope you enjoy that, and we'll be starting the next section of our report writing tomorrow.